Really? When shopping for camera lenses, there are usually two main things that you'll be looking for. Number one is its focal length in millimeters, be that fixed or variable, and number two is its maximum aperture, as represented by a ratio or f number. There are also other things that are important to consider when purchasing a camera lens, such as the filter thread size, whether it is weather sealed, its mount, crucially, whether it supports autofocus, etc. But generally speaking, these are the two main things that will convey the most information about your lens. Focal length represents a distance in millimeters between the lens's nodal point and its camera system's sensor. So the nodal point is essentially the point in the lens at which the incoming light converges along the optical axis. So this distance determines quite a few things, some of which we've already talked about if you want to check it out. Though in a general sense it determines how zoomed in or magnified your image is going to appear. The maximum aperture is also a very important measurement, as it determines how much light your lens can admit into image space, and that is the space where your final image is formed on the sensor. So this also determines quite a few things, namely how well your lens performs in low light, as well as how shallow a depth of field you can achieve with it. However, whereas a focal length millimeter measurement is quite straightforward, it's an actual measurement that you could conceivably achieve from a cross-section of a lens attached to its camera body. This number, preceded by the letter F, is a bit more abstract. Let's break it down. So what is an F number? Is it a number that begins with the letter F? 5, 4, 13? No, come on, I'm just being silly! The F number you'll find inscribed on your lens is a result of taking that focal length in millimeters and dividing it by the diameter in millimeters of your lens's entrance pupil when it's at maximum dilation. Hold your horses! Stop for a second. What's an entrance pupil? In the human eye, the pupil is taken to mean the dark circular space that is defined by the contracting and relaxing muscles of the iris. So this determines how much light is able to reach your retina. The savvy amongst you may have already noticed that we also have a mechanism in our camera lens that dilates and contracts to alter how much light we are admitting into image space. And you'll notice that when we change our F number in our camera system settings, we are also changing the size of this circular opening. So is this the entrance pupil? No, not quite. The confusing thing about a lens's entrance pupil proper, at least as it pertains to this formula, is that its measurement in millimeters is not as straightforward as focal lengths, which you could conceivably get from a cross-section of a lens and a camera body. Instead, the measurement of an entrance pupil's diameter in millimeters is a kind of perceived measurement that must be taken from object space, looking directly down the optical axis of a lens. In short, the entrance pupil is the image of the aperture stop as seen from this vantage in object space. So what? Why is that? Why? So that is kind of a complicated matter, but really it's to do with how light travels and refracts through your lens elements. Optics Realm has a really good video on this, where Mr. Scott Sparrold delineates how we can determine the location and aperture of a lens's entrance pupil based on how something called the chief ray of light travels through the lens system. In conclusion, taking things back to this formula, the F number you will find inscribed on your camera lens is its focal length divided by the diameter of the lens's entrance pupil when it's at its most dilated, as perceived by looking down the optical axis from object space. Which is quite a mouthful, so let's just call it D. And if you know any of the two elements of this formula, which should be provided by the lens manufacturer, you can work out what the denominator is with algebra. So my Minolta 50mm f1.4 lens, one of my favourites, supposedly has its entrance pupil dilated to 35.714mm at f1.4, which looks roughly correct. Yeah, I'll take it. So that's what this number represents. So you may have seen in your adventures as a photographer that there are some freaky lenses out there that don't even don an F number at all. They threaten to throw the whole order of lens livery into chaos. You may find them not by F number, but by a secret second thing, by the mark of the beast. T. What is T-stop? Head on over to part 2 to find out.